All right, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto Truth, where I give you the truth as I see it. So, many of you will notice that my last video, I went on a little bit of a rant. I feel like it's definitely warranted. However, one of the things that I pride myself in is trying to be fair and unbiased. So when I receive and I do things by how much information I receive or I react to the information that I receive. So when I am confronted about my last video from the horse's mouth and had a great conversation about the direction that Holochain is attempting to go, or the direction of the Holo organization, and some of the concerns that I had were talked about and addressed. While we still have a lot of questions, I still feel like it is fair for me to delete. That is the reason why I deleted that video, to be fair, especially for people who are new are trying to figure out exactly what Holochain is. And I don't want to create too much FUD, as really a lot of people really didn't understand, and especially new people really didn't understand my video. And so I feel like it was a little bit unfair on that front. As far as the things that I said and the language that I use, I'm not going to take that away. I still, at no point did I say that Holochain was a terrible technology or that it's not going to go anywhere. However, I did address my concerns in that video. And also, those concerns were no new concerns. They were concerns from the past as well. So, but anyway, this video is going to be about XRP. I know it's been a while. I actually looked up, and I found that I had made a video. You guys, for some of you guys who have followed me for a long time, know that I created a video saying that XRP will win. If I find that video again, I'll link it to the description below. It's been a long time and why I felt like they were going to win. I also went down the list and kind of went over the Howey test. So for many of you guys, you may not know this, but I went to school for public administration. So while I was in school, we talked about the Howey test, and as a matter of fact, in my one of my papers that I wrote, which was obviously in cryptocurrency, I talked about the Howey test, and it's the categories. So the category, excuse me. But anyways, I made a video on. I'm like, I know I made a video on exactly what the Howey test is, and went through all this little stuff, and then I realized something. I sent the video. I sent the video and created that video on the wrong account, right? So I was like, why don't I see this? And then I looked at it and I was like, oh man, one of my accounts on YouTube only has one video, and it's that video. So apparently I wasn't paying too much attention, sent it to the wrong video. My apologies. Anyway, let's move forward. So XRP, let's talk a little bit about XRP, because you guys know I really haven't been talking about a lot of projects, but now from here on out, now that the rubber is about to meet the road for a lot of different things, I feel like it is important for me to talk about a lot of projects and give you guys my truth, about a lot of projects that I feel are going to make it. You guys have seen on my Twitter, I've stated that a list of projects that I felt was going to make it, or that is going to make you money, or it is going to change the world. And I put them in two different categories. So this is one of those categories in which XRP is not necessarily going to change the world, but through its technology. But I do feel like it can and will make you money through its business. So let's talk a little bit about XRP. Now, you guys know exactly. And we're going to talk about XRP, and we're going to talk about the Swift network. So we know that the United States have been weaponizing the dollar. That's just the truth. I don't want to hear it from people out there who are saying that the United States don't weaponize the dollar. Every country, if they had the opportunity, will weaponize their own currency if it was used throughout the world. But a lot of companies and organizations and countries are against the sanctions that the U.S. have been putting on these different countries. So a lot of different countries have been using the SWIFT system. However, the SWIFT system is outdated. We all know that. But also, we will see that the SWIFT, how should I say this? It's very much controlled by the United States, right? And other countries don't like that. So if, I don't know, we'll say country X says, well, we believe in doing this with our country. The United States will say, well, you know what? We don't agree with that. But I tell you what, if you're going to continue to do that, we're going to contact and we're going to bottleneck. We're going to have a bottleneck, and it's called SWIFT. And we're going to make sure that you're not able to access your funds or to withdraw, so that you can't be able, so you won't be able to transact using American dollars, right? And so with the SWIFT system, other countries are like, we'll say we're going to use variables, because I don't really want to get into this whole political stuff, although I would love to, but I can't. So we're going to say that country X, Y, and Z have been outed through the SWIFT network, and they don't like it. So where do they go? So right now, there are other countries, and they're building their own network, right? I'm gonna put own network. Now this is kind of for many of you guys who don't know me, I really don't make organized videos. These are now I do know about the project, but I don't really say, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So I don't have a production or anything like that. I just come up here and I just talk about what I say. So it might not be legible, but I will do my best. So country X, Y, and Z, they're gonna build their own network, and the United States are gonna say, hey, you know what? We don't appreciate you building your own network, but guess what? There's nothing, absolutely nothing that the United States can do. They can do all kinds of things and say, oh, well, we don't appreciate you doing this. But if they have their own closed network, different countries have their own closed network. First off, there's a couple of things. Number one, how will the United States be able to understand what their transaction, how their transaction, and what the amount that they're transacting in? So, and I'm going to use this, and only because I love Pokemon. I'm starting to get back into Pokemon. After the Johto League, I kind of fell off. Busy, life, everything else in between. And so now my son, he loves Pokemon. I'm getting into it. But anyway, so the United States, they don't know what they're doing. So with their own network, they can be trading Pokemon cards. We're gonna say they're using Pokemon cards, and they're using, I don't know, railroad system, and they're exporting Pokemon cards throughout. Now, obviously, we know that everything is through technology. I really don't want to get too much into the deep in the weeds of technology, because that can be another story within itself. However, we see here that country X, Y, and Z are building their own network. The United States said, oh, well, whatever you guys are using, or whatever you guys are transacting in, whatever it is, I don't care what the coin or token is called, or Pokemon cards they are, you can't, we're going to try to restrict you, or they're going to tell other countries, hey, we don't want you using this system. Now, what does all of this have to do with XRP? Well, I'm going to give you guys my opinion, but also I'm going to give you guys two opinions, well, multiple opinions, but I'm going to give you my opinion as to why I believe that XRP is going to make a lot of people a lot of money, those who have XRP. Now, I'm not just saying this. You guys can look at my last video. I stated that I was going to talk about XRP before it's actually starting this slight bull run. Like it had like a little slight pump within its price. To me, if you've been in the crypto space for a while, 24%, 30%, even 50% or 60% pump, I mean, unless you're a trader, it don't really mean all that. If you're a hodler or a holder, you're looking for the top of the top, and then that's when you start doing your things. There's a lot of people who dollar cost average, and obviously none of these pumps really mean anything to people who dollar cost average. So when we're looking at the SWIFT network, we see that so the United States is saying, hey, you know what? we will operate with you. We're going to say X, Y, and Z. We're going to say A, B, C. So countries A, B, and C, you're totally cool. But we want you to, you're good with using the SWIFT network. You guys have been outed, but we don't want you transacting with this country. Now, here's the issue that I have. If these countries have a closed loop system, how would these countries kind of operate or communicate or transact with other countries? Because you know they will, okay? And the problem that we have, first off, I don't believe that the United States of America should be weaponizing the dollar, but you know, it is what it is, and stifling technology, but it is what it is. This has everything to do with, and we all know this has everything to do with FedNow. The federal government, and this is why I believe that the federal government want everything to go all to hell. Because if everything goes all to hell, the federal government say, hey, you know what? We have FedNow, and what we're going to do is we're taking care of the banks, and we got transactions, and everything is working, you know? The next thing, we all know that the next thing is are the servers, right? So to not be able to connect to the internet, to be able to use some of these things, that's far into the future. That's what people, that's my tin hat. That's not something that I know for a fact. But I do know this. I do know that if you guys have been paying attention to the lawsuit, you know that that Gary Gensler and all and the Fed, like they all have their hands in a pie. You guys don't think they're not contacting each other behind the scenes? Like by the time you listen to the news stations that are telling you things that you're already behind. The things that we read on for some of you guys, you know, you read on Cointelegraph, Kiko News, whatever news station or your source of news that you receive your information from, you know, by the time you get that, you're already too late. And so in order to get ahead of the game, you have to understand what is it building up to. You got to be able to follow the breadcrumbs. And the breadcrumbs clearly says that once all of this is everything is starting to come to a head. So once FedNow comes, regulations are going to come. Regulations honestly should come before FedNow. And I believe that they just may do that. Right now, there's a tear about definitions, and there's no set definition of exactly what a security even is, or why Gary Gensler would, even, you know, this whole tangent that they've been on. They have no clear definition. You know, I have children. If I discipline my children, I want them to know what they're being disciplined about, or they know that they've known it already. There's no sense in me disciplining my children and say, hey, you know what? I don't want you to ever do that again. But what did I do? Well, you did wrong. But could you define what I did wrong? No. But just know you better not do that again. That makes no sense whatsoever. And that's what every phase and every phase of life, you know. So when we're looking at this whole ecosystem that's happening within the crypto space and outside of the crypto space, we're seeing, and I talked about this because there's other projects that in my other videos I actually talked about the country, because they actually have other they have that other blockchain stuff going on as well. But the United States of America, while they're trying to create these bottlenecks, these countries are just creating better technology, and they're doing things. You're not going to be able to stop it. And the logic that I use with this is that if the United States can't stop drugs from coming in to its states, like physical drugs, if it can't stop people from traveling over illegally from a different country over to your borders, if you can't even stop that, what in the hell makes you think that you're going to be able to stop another country from transacting on digital codes or maybe even Pokemon cards in any kind of way? You can't stop it. Okay, so this is a very old school mentality that the United States have, and they've been doing this for years, and it's starting to not work anymore. We all knew this was coming to a head. For those of you guys who follow my videos, I'm telling you, while I don't talk about this a lot, I have talked about this in the past. Now let's talk about XRP. What does that XRP have to do with any of this stuff? Well, basically, the Fed now is basically banks communicating with each other, right? They're saying, okay, so you're going to be able to transact, be able to use, we'll say banks, and you're going to be able to transact between each other, FedNow, and Saturday and Sunday is going to be open at 8 o'clock at night, at 9 o'clock, at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's all going to be instant payments and transactions between each other. Now, here's where it gets special. These banks are probably going, in the United States, are probably going to use FedNow, but they're also going to run into another problem. Other banks that are part of these countries, and even these countries, they're all going to need to transact. And what better way to use handle remittances but by using XRP. Now, XRP has been a solid project that has been a while, for a long time. They've been making connections all across the world. And by the way, it sucks for us United States citizens, because I actually had a lot of XRP. I'm not afraid to say it because I don't have it now. I don't have nothing now. But back in the day, I had over 600,000 XRP. Is what it is. Not going to tell you full story what happened to it or me. But this was way back in the day. And I had a little bit. And Coinbase said, bye-bye, we're not using XRP. And other banks and exchanges said, well, we're not going to use XRP. The moment Gary Gensler breathed on, Brad Garlinghouse and said, and told them, hey, you know what? You guys can't use, XRP is unregistered security. You guys all know the story. I'm not going to get into all of that. And so what we have here is XRP is an out, right? XRP is an out because once it's going to be used, oh, by the way, for some of you guys who don't know, I do understand that Ripple, the company, the organization, uses XRP. And Ripple really is the company or organization that they're talking about, the coin, the token XRP. But we in the United States we've been kind of done wrong, right? So once everything goes back to normal, and once it's approved and everyone's like, oh, wow, it's not a security and all of this is over with, guess who's going to get the upper hand? Well, some of you guys who put your XRP, smart enough to put your XRP on a ledger, you guys are going to be just fine. But a lot of people in the United States, such as myself, it was like, well, at that time, and Coinbase was the only thing, right? And so I got rid of my XRP because I'm like, what can I do with it? Now, it would have been smart for me to have a ledger and be able to do things, but I did not, and I had reasons for that. So anyway, let's get back to XRP. So anyway, XRP, first off, is going to take a lot of business away from the SWIFT system. Everybody's going to get away from the SWIFT system, and we all know this, right? And so the United States also know this, and that's the whole reason why they're trying to have everyone within the U.S. use their FedNow program that's coming out. You guys are going to find out that once FedNow comes out, all of a sudden, things are going to start smoothing out. We're going to start getting regulations. Things are going to start happening. And yes, this all goes within the 4-year the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. But everything is just gonna be great considering, a black swan event. So we're looking at XRP here, and I believe that other countries are going to say, hey, you know what? We need to be able to transact with this country here. We can't use SWIFT and we can't use our own network. So what are we going to use? We're going to use XRP. Why? Because a lot of banks in the US are going to be able to use XRP, and it's going to be used for its remittances throughout the world. And so at the end of the day, you guys have to pay attention to where things are going to go at the end, right? So, and that's what the government is trying to do. The U.S. government is trying to do, say, okay, well, where's everything going to go at the end? We got all of these cryptocurrencies. We have all of these projects. Where are they going to go? Well, they're all going to go to a stable coin so it can be cashed out. So what are we going to do? We're going to take out the stable coin. Right? We're going to say that all stable coins are unregistered securities. How? I don't know. Definition? I don't know. But that's what it is. And then, and we're going to use our system. Now, obviously, the FedNow system is not a part of the blockchain network or anything like that. I believe they said, was it Torrance, I forgot what they're going to be running it on, but you guys can find that on Google. They'll be able to tell you. It's no secret of exactly what they're doing. But this is what I believe is going to happen. And so a lot of people who these banks are transacting within themselves, and there's going to be regulations. All Ripple is saying is, hey, we understand that you feel like it's a unregistered security at the time or whatever, or we just want you to tell us exactly what a security is, what the regulations is, so we can move on about our business, right? And that's what you want to see in a company or an organization. You want to see a company or organization say, hey, you got local rules, you got local laws, totally understand. Just tell me what I need to do so I can be legal and we can go ahead and get this process started so the tech can move forward. It's as simple as that. So this is the reason why I believe that we're going to have countries, and even countries X, Y, and Z, and you can make it up or, whatever you want to believe that these countries are. You can best believe that they're going to be using this network because this network is going to be able to connect a lot, if not all, of, different banks and organizations. That's all there is to it. And so right now, this is one of the reasons. Now, this is only the first project. I'm going to get into other projects as the reason why I believe they are going to. I talked about Holochain, so I'm not going to talk about them as far as changing the world because I obviously do believe they're going to change the world, but and be very, very huge. But when we're talking about XRP, I do believe that they're going to be gigantic, and this is only the beginning, right? All of these companies and organizations, we got over 20 to 20 something of the other cryptocurrency projects out there. And the only reason why I know how my if I'm looking at coin market cap, and I see for a fact that, okay, well, I've been here for a while. What is it? Is this really, you know what? If you upload it and then you see the ticker and it is gone up by one crypto project or one coin or token, you'll find out that, oh, it's uploaded. It's being, these tokens and coins are being added, but all of them aren't going to make it. That's just truth of the matter. The only ones that are really truly going to make it are the ones who have solid utility and a path forward. And I feel that XRP has a path forward. I should say Ripple has a path forward for XRP. And I'm not going to get into all of the separation stuff and the different products like XRapid and a lot of the other stuff that XRP. I'm not sure whether they're still using that. That was back in the day. But anyway, as I always say, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. But everything's going to come to an end. Everything's going to come to a head. The government's going to find out that there's going to be a problem with the FedNow system. And when we're going to see it live, and it's going to fail. When I tell you it's going to fail, I'm just telling you, it's going to fail. But anyway, please, as I always say, do your own research, do your own research, do your own research. And last but not least, above all else, people, it's getting crazy out there. Please stay safe, okay? Bye, you guys.